As dhyan takes you into the deeper realm of your existence, you start rising higher and higher and higher, and you keep on expanding to the infinite level. In that infinite state, motion disappears because only finite things can move. Infinite existence has no capacity to move. Because it is everywhere. So the only motionless state is the state of existence, awareness. And that state is very vibrant, is very alive, full of energy, and yet it's not going anywhere. Literally, it becomes like a log of wood because the silence that is achieved in that state is like the silence of a log of wood, where no motion is possible. At this state, your existence, your awareness has expanded so much, and the state is full of bliss, peace, and yet it is vibrant, alive, alert. But no other objects of the world can be compared with that state. So the log of wood is used as an example. But imagine the same log of wood is aware of what is within itself. Same log of wood can be carved to make different statues of wood until that block of wood is carved. Nothing is possible. And yet, everything is possible. A bird can be carved. A bear can be carved. A human being can be carved. Mountains, rivers, forests. The possibilities are infinite as to what can be created out of that wood. But until those creations come into existence, the log of wood retains its secrets. It holds on to all these worlds as a possibility, as a potential. So there is a potential to be creating all these varieties of objects. Similarly, this ultimate state of bliss that becomes obvious as it reveals itself in that steady state, it is holding on to the potentials to create. And all these potentialities remain within this huge block of consciousness. log of wood may have a limited shape, limited size, so limited capacities and limited potentialities. But this block of consciousness is infinite, and all the possibilities are within itself. And like the infinite existence, potentialities are also infinite. So as you stay in that state of existence, the universes disappear because they are not real. Even if you carve a statue of a human being out of a block of a wood, he will be still a wood. Even though may he look like a human being, it's still that block of wood. Similarly, the whole universe that seems to be operating in front of us is also created or existing within this huge block of infinite consciousness. So whatever we see around us is nothing but consciousness. Small earthworm to an ant, to your neighbor, to your spouse, your children, your cars, everything is nothing but consciousness. And all that is hidden within this huge block of consciousness. And since this block is infinite, all these universes are hidden within it as potentialities. So, the path of spirituality is to be able to reach to this state, which is a thoughtless state, and experience this existence, which is totally devoid of thoughts, totally devoid of materialism. And in this state, you reach to the state of absolute fearlessness. Because fear was because of your attachment to the material aspect of the consciousness. Even science now has agreed that there is no matter. All matter is energy in a concentrated form, E equal to mc square. So the sansar that we condemn, it's a fallacy to do that, because even sansar is part and parcel of this infinite consciousness. Condemning the sansar and glorifying the spiritual life is a fallacy of the mind. Mind divides, but consciousness does not divide. Spirituality is a way of existing. Sansar is a creation of the mind, because whatever sansar we see, it still is the consciousness, because there is only one thing, the consciousness. So one who divides sansara and spirituality as two separate things will never be able to reach to the state of purnata. Sansara, if it becomes real and its pleasures become real, then you are becoming unaware. The flip side of that is the awareness. Awareness is everything. In the state of awareness, you realize that sansara is only an illusion, like a dream coming into the brain, our mind, and then disappearing. Having that dream, you create the mountains and rivers and animals and people and all that, ultimately not materializing into anything. Similarly, in the highest blissful state, you realize that sansara is only an illusion. It is just a modification of this vast pool of energy. But it still is an energy. Spiritual way of life is beautiful, but it does not have to be separate from sansara. The lotus rises from the mud, but if the mud disappears, so does the lotus. Even though the mud can be condemned and be called dirty, the lotus, the beautiful lotus of spirituality, still is dependent on the sansara in a very subtle way. If you realize your existence and realizing the sansara is an illusion, you have to prove yourself that you have reached to that state. All the ups and downs of life, do they bother you? All the gains and losses, do they make you excited or depressed? Then you have not realized the ultimate state of awareness. Because in the ultimate state of awareness, there is no gain, there is no loss, there is no happiness, there is no sufferings, there is no pap, there is no punya. Only one scene is the unawareness and getting slipped back into the mud. Every single moment that you spend in the sansara, you test your state of existence. Whether do you get affected by the day-to-day variations of sansara? Do you still maintain the same friendship with every person who comes in your life? Or do you hate him or hate her for what he said, what she said? Does it bother you? Are you anxious about the future, what's going to happen? Are you having regrets of the past? All these are signs that you are bound to the material aspect of the consciousness. So to test your existential state, sansara is very important, because that's where you came from. At energy level, at consciousness level, the concept of duality disappears. Spiritual life, sansaric life, good, bad, those are all dualities. And dualities are illusions. It's like creating a bird and a human being out of a block of wood and calling them two separate things. It's naive to think that the two are separate, because they both are wood. They both are made out of wood. One who considers those two as two separate things does not know the existence of a wooden log where they both came from. Similarly, one who divides this consciousness into different people, different mountains and rivers and sukh and dukh, does not know his own primordial existence, which was there before the idea of universe was created. So, samadhi state ultimately takes you to a blissful state, which makes you realize your original state, where you were nothing but a wooden log. And that's where you still are. You are still the product of that consciousness, and so is everybody else. To see the duality and be in that primordial state is an oxymoron state. So meditate regularly. Make yourself realize the ultimate existential state which we all are in. Make it a reality within yourself, and then the sansar starts losing its grip. And then you realize sansar was only your own imagination, one of the potentialities that the wooden block is hiding. Similarly, sansar was one of the potentialities that this infinite state of consciousness was hiding. Have a good day.